Welcome to Strip Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we're here with this week's edition of
Variety Hour.
Yes.
Variety Hour, everybody's favorite segment for no goddamn reason.
Where we talk about things and everyone has to wonder, are they drunk?
A lot of people have said, you guys get drunk and talk about things. Like, not usually.
We're sober.
We're just, I guess, this scatterbrained.
Yeah, sometimes.
In a normal. I've had somebody say they, like, the first video they saw of us was Variety Hour. And he's like, I thought you talked about books and I couldn't fucking follow anything. And I'm like, yeah, that's Variety Hour. We just kind of spitball.
It is, it's typical vlogging, right?
It is typical vlogging. The idea of it is you're supposed to feel like you're sitting here listening to us yell at each other. This is normal Adrian Dalton conversation.
Shut up for a minute. It really is.
It is.
All right.
So first things first.
Okay. Start with some housekeeping.
We have received an overwhelming support of patrons.
An influx of patrons, but we're still poor. So the presentations on the channel may take a bit of time. We are also experiencing one of the primary places where we get these deals is closing and doesn't have anything anymore. So we're having a harder time finding things, and when you don't have it out there in front of you, it's hard to retroactively plan for them.
We refuse to pick up a figure that we do not believe wholeheartedly works.
Right.
So
thought does go into this.
Yes. So if you haven't seen your figure pop up yet, give us a little bit of time. We're making sure everything's perfect and we get exactly what we want.
Yes. Hopefully perfect and what we want works. Because
and if you don't like it, oh, sorry. We tried.
We really tried.
But first, you got the first round, Adrian.
Yes. Now, let me go into a little bit of the backstory behind this. We got two new patrons. One named Sophie Tullett or Sophie Tullett. One named Sophie Prewett or Sophie Prewett.
At which Adrian has constantly mixed these two up.
That's not fair.
That is fair. You have texted me so many times. He's like, "Well, Sophie Tullett said this." I'm like, "No, wrong one."
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
it's difficult when two new Sophies pop into your life with Frenchish last names, and you've never physically met either of them, right? That is understandable.
Okay.
So, in the spirit of this, Sophie Tullett will be Leonardo. Sophie Prewett will be Donatello.
Which works because I can't tell the difference between either of those.
Blue and purple.
I mix them up all the time.
You millennial, you.
We're going to get into a talk about millennials.
Will we?
We will.
Okay.
But
I really like this because my first idea was, let's search out for something that's twins.
Yes.
Right? But these Sophies might not even know each other. So twins doesn't necessarily make sense. But they're on the same team, yeah?
Okay.
They support the Strip Cover Lit, yeah? And they're both named Sophie, yeah? They're both Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, yeah?
You just wanted Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on set.
I grew up with the Teenage... I think that's understandable.
They were actually just like a hair before me.
Yeah.
So, I'm not completely enveloped in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle culture.
That is my understanding of, like, He-Man.
Okay.
Right? Just before me.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or G.I. Joe was really sort of just before me as well.
Okay.
So, I'm really proud of the Ninja Turtles here.
I got the next one. I'm excited for this one.
Okay.
Miss Tansy Bradshaw has pledged to the Strip Cover Lit Patreon.
Also reached out on Twitter.
Yes, thank you very much.
Also has a channel that you should definitely check out.
Self-named Tansy Bradshaw.
Yes.
So give that a look. But she is a big Doctor Who fan. Thank you. No one is a Doctor Who fan anymore, so anytime I have an excuse to go to the Doctor Who section and buy things, I'm happy. So we can't decide, because Tansy likes certain doctors, but she doesn't like other doctors. So we took the gamble. I'm a gambling man on this.
Daddy was a gambler.
We're going to do a bit of an unboxing, because we have Doctor Who vinyls, but this is unopened, And it's a mystery.
And we understand that unboxings are big on the internet community.
And people like this kind of thing. So you are going to be enveloped as one of the doctors, because we don't have any of them on set. That is probably horrendously loud. I want you to know that.
It probably is.
So,
and an unboxing is not going to be?
No, it's a little box. But one of these, it's the doctor.
Dynamite comes in small packages too, but it's loud.
No, it's the
I'm
doctor.
5'7". I have to learn these things.
So we have no idea what's in here. We have not opened this. We are going to find out live which doctor it will be. I'm hoping for the 10th because he's my favorite.
Who's the 10th?
David Tennant.
Oh, yeah. You like David
Tennant. Oh, my. Sorry, I just really want to say that. So we are going to continue with this unboxing. I didn't realize that it was in an individually sealed package.
It's probably really loud.
It's really, really loud. Chris Eccleston, the 9th.
The 9th?
It's the 9th Doctor.
No one likes the 9th Doctor.
No one likes the 9th Doctor. I sincerely hope. So if you hate Chris Eccleston and you hate the 9th Doctor, you're welcome.
She did say she hated the 9th Doctor.
Did she hate the 9th Doctor?
She hates one of them.
I tried. But you will forever be the 9th Doctor on set. I'm going to sit her back here for the time being. Fantastic.
We also have another patron we need to introduce. But I can't remember who that was. Happened a while ago. Also a booktuber.
Who could it be? Who could it be?
We've been searching for her representation on set for a very long time now, but I can't remember quite who it is.
Here's my thing. We did say it does take us a little bit of time to find the figures that we want to represent you. Sometimes we're right on the money, and we just pick up because it's perfect.
Yes.
This person has been waiting for months. So much so that I have gotten on the Twitter and apologized. I'm like, I am so sorry.
Me too.
Because we have gone to every store in Kansas City.
We've gone, yeah. And St. Joe.
A 45-mile radius.
Yes. So, we went online and made our very first venture to the interwebs to strip coverlet. And ordered something special because it's just too perfect to have reverse engineered any other representation on set from Monse other than the Merc with the mouth.
It's Deadpool.
It's Deadpool. And Monse, I don't really care if you hate Deadpool because this is just too perfect. Also, the figure is badass. We got Donatello and Leonardo, but this has size like Raphael. It has swords like Leonardo. It's also got an assault rifle.
Like Donatello.
So, this will forever represent Monse on set.
You will knock everything over if you put that back there. I want you to know that.
Oh, will I?
But anyway, we found a lot of Deadpools. Not a lot. A lot of stores didn't have anything Deadpool, which surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But I personally found Deadpool figures. I'm like, look, Adrian, I found them. You're like, it's not what I want.
It's not the one.
It's not the perfect one. I
It is
want
not perfect.
the fancy one.
This
the
is
big
exactly
one.
like... This is the exact line as our Wolverine, which represents Amy on set, and we are all from the same corner of BookTube, so I figured that'd be a good little deal.
You had to have the Marvel Select Deadpool.
It
So
had to be right.
I had to go on the internet, which terrifies you, and take care of it for you. You're welcome. But more importantly, thank all of you.
Thank you
very much. Like I said, we have a list of people that we are in the process of finding the right figure for. We're ordering some because we got pissed off and couldn't find them.
Or waiting on it to show up.
Waiting for delivery. So don't lose faith. If you haven't seen yourself appear yet, we will get to you as soon as we get the figures in hand.
Yes.
But thank you guys very much for supporting us. That's awesome.
You guys are making this one step closer to a reality each and every week. And
Absolutely.
we greatly appreciate that.
So what are we talking about this week in Variety?
We had an earthquake.
Did we?
Yeah.
I missed it.
So here's the thing. It was apparently a 5.8, something like that.
In Oklahoma. It was a pretty decent earthquake.
Yeah. And people around the Midwest took to Twitter, took to Facebook.
Yeah.
And people on the West Coast made fun of us for it. Oh, look at these Midwesterners with their earthquakes. They've never experienced one in their lives. Let us mail you a tornado.
Yeah.
Let us mail you a tornado and see how you like it.
Here's the thing with an earthquake. Devastating, yes. It truly is. A tragedy in many sense. However, it happens. Middle of the day, possibly middle of the night, it just happens. A tornado gives you about a 2-hour fucking warning where all hell will break loose and let you know it's fucking coming.
And you mentioned gambling earlier.
Yes.
That's the main thing. This is like an ethereal being gambling with your life in a tornado.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know a tornado is going to hit.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's going to hit.
Yeah, it's going to be a surprise.
Have you ever been in a tornado?
Yes, I have. I lived in the Midwest all my life.
Well, how was the experience?
Okay, here's the thing. There are two types of people when there are tornadoes about. There's those who take cover, and then there's those who say, we gonna get in the truck and catch it.
I'm going to be in my underwear on the porch with my shotgun.
My family's number 2.
Yeah, mine.
I remember being a child, and there was one that touched down right outside the city we lived in. A huge storm, did a lot of damage, and that's exactly what happened. All the kids, and actually now that I think about it, all the kids and all the women were sent to the basement. They did this maritime law. And then everybody else like, we're going out to get it, man. We're going to go take pictures. It's going to be awesome.
Get the shotty.
So anybody who could make the decision to gamble with their lives
Did so.
So, yeah, it is absolutely terrifying, though. Because it's going to rain harder than you have ever seen it rain. It is going to flood things. And then the wind's going to hit. The sirens are going to go off. And it may show up and it may not.
Well, here's the thing. The worst scenarios of my life, where there's been a tornado touchdown the closest, the sirens never even went off.
Oh, yeah.
Because it can happen that fast.
Yeah.
So the scariest thing that ever happened to me, I was 23, living in a one-bedroom apartment by myself. I had just started drinking. I didn't drink till I was 23.
Okay.
So I'd gotten a little shitty on the wine, right? And I wake up at about 4 in the morning, and all I hear is...
Yeah.
Just constant. And I wake up and I'm like, what? Am I drunk? What is going on right now? Is my neighbor playing music real loud? So I open my window, and immediately outside my window is gray.
Yeah.
Like, it is not any, it's 4 in the morning, but it's gray. And then all of a sudden it's blue. Blue, gray, blue.
It's a weird color spectrum.
So I'm like, I'm still drunk. Like, what is going on here? So I go to the window on the other side of the building. Gray. Blue, gray. Blue. And I'm like, all right, something's not right. I'm drunk.
All right.
So I go out the front door to my apartment. And I look down the breezeway. And as soon as the apartment stops, there is gray. Blue. And I'm like, well, I'm dying. These are the end times. I might as well go back to bed. So, yeah, I woke up the next morning, and there were several buildings damaged right near my apartment. But here's the damnedest thing about tornadoes. The only building that was there was one building on all of North Oak, which I live on now, which was ruined. And it was a Margaritas. And everything around it was completely fine.
That's how they work.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If you're not familiar with this, I want you to pause this right now and look up on YouTube Chicago tornado siren. You wake up in the middle of the night and you fucking hear that noise. That is the scariest motherfucking noise I have ever heard.
You showed me this earlier. It's like the soundtrack to
It's apocalyptic.
Yeah, to a horror film.
I have to plug this story super quick. I was living at Lake Contrary in St. Joe. Do you know where that is? Ish. We were in college at the time when I was living there. And there was a huge storm and winds similar to tornado, but no touchdown on a tornado. The house next to me flipped. It was a trailer, and it had flipped. On the other side of me, it uprooted the tree and blew it into the lake. My house was fine.
Yeah.
I remember waking up in the middle of this, and I'm like, oh my god, the roof's going to fly. I'm going to die. And go back to sleep. Because that's what you do. Because you can't do anything about it.
You're just dead.
My cousin lived next door to me. He owned the house that I was living in. He was like renting it to me because I just moved off to college. And he comes out, like after it's all done, we're like assessing the damage. I'm like, oh my god, this happened while I was sleeping. And he's like, I don't know how you were sleeping. I've got like 70 missed calls. I mean, I look at my phone, nothing. Nobody.
No one really cares.
Everyone in my family called him, did not acknowledge me. So what do? I walk down the street to the trailer court of this lake, where there is a man who has his dog and his couch in his front lawn in about this deep water, sitting on the couch drinking a 30-pack of Natural Light, because the news people are coming soon. He's going to be on there. I just go and I'm like, I'm done. I got your point, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we had an earthquake.
Yes, we did have an earthquake.
I was awake-ish. I had a cold, so I didn't really sleep that night, right? I was off the whole night. I was in and out, in and out. It's like 7 in the morning that this thing struck. I thought it was someone coming up the steps.
Okay.
So all you heard was dig, 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 dig. Until that last one. That last shake. Everything moved.
Okay.
Luna Lovegood fell on the ground over here. And, boy, I was up. I thought, it sounded like the National Guard was going to bust through my door, right?
Okay.
It was just offsetting.
All right. I was at work, and I was coming through the little secured airlock that we have to go in and out through. And that's when it hit, so I didn't feel it. Because I'm like in a stationary, secure airlock. I mean, you cannot hear anything in it.
Yeah.
But I do know the people in our control module that open and close the door, where they're like freaking out. I'm like, no, I need to leave. I'm good. Shift's over. I'm not dying here today. So I missed it. I missed this one.
Missed it.
But anyway, that's enough about earthquakes.
Speaking of, I thought someone was coming up the steps.
Okay.
That happens often at my apartment.
Okay.
Because my apartment number is the same address as the building number.
Yes.
My apartment 209, the building 209, right?
Yeah.
So everyone that orders food, it comes to my apartment.
Yes.
Anyone that has UPS, it comes to my apartment.
We've talked about this
So I gotta
before.
walk these things all back, right? The other night, I'm sitting at my desk, it's 2 in the morning, I'm writing. Someone knocks on my door. So I grab the machete, right?
Yes.
It's 2 in the morning. Don't knock on my fucking door. And I answer the door in my underwear with my machete. And this terrified pizza delivery woman stares back at me and says, "Pepperoni?" And I said, "It's Adrian, thank you, but what the hell are you doing? Apparently there's some place around here that delivers pizza at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Who does that?
Apparently nobody to this neighborhood anymore.
No, they better not.
You've stopped that for somebody.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I like late night delivery. I wish more people did that. I live odd hours.
Yeah.
My real-time job is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So on my days off, who else is awake at 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday?
Well, right.
I would love to have something like that.
But if you're going to knock on a door at 2 o'clock in the morning...
better make sure it's the right one.
Right, wouldn't you?
I'd hope.
Wouldn't you?
Well, in her defense, she probably saw a light on. And said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, there's a light on in this apartment, it's probably it.
I guess.
I mean...
Still.
Anyway.
Still. Well, we're talking about things that piss Adrian off.
Go on.
Hello, BookTube. The weather is shitty, and I don't like your videos. Who's that sound like?
Monse?
No.
Is that Steve?
That's Steve.
That is Steve.
Steve likes to poke. Poke, 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 poke. Poke, poke. So in our last variety hour, we mentioned old Stan Lee.
I love Stan Lee.
Dalton said, I'm gonna be sad when Stan Lee dies. And I said, you're an idiot. And I said, I think I said something about, and some of the work he's ripped off, something like that. I don't know. Steve took it and ran with it as if it were me saying that Stan Lee never did anything original, and that he never stole anything from anyone, and that he never claimed credit for anyone's work, and that Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby, who were the two guys that are most often cited, that he kind of took credit for their work. He said, well, they went on and they made their own stuff, and it was not good. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Dalton, who does everyone acknowledge on this channel as the brains of the operation?
Adrian.
Adrian is the brains of the operation.
Okay.
Who is it? Who's the one that everyone says, if that guy weren't there, it wouldn't be as consistent, it wouldn't be as stable. He does all the editing.
Dalton.
Dalton does all the editing. Okay, so would either one of us on our own be capable of making a BookTube channel?
No.
Yes, we'd be capable of doing it.
It'd be different.
It would be different. It would not be the strip cover lit experience, would it?
I just realized I was the Robin of strip cover lit.
Well, of course, but it wouldn't be the same, would it?
No.
So, one of us being the enabler to the other in videos where we are weaker, in concepts where we are weaker, creates a greater good, does it not?
It does.
Adrian, even though I'm the brains of the operation, I'm the intelligent one, and the good-looking one, and the successful one, and the smart one, it would not be the same if Adrian had his own channel.
Okay.
Now, it's a much different thing to take someone else's work and sign your name at the bottom if you know you're a minor contributor, isn't it?
Now, here's the thing. That is a ballsy move, though, and I will give you this argument, Stanley, is to take somebody else's work. Maybe you had an equal share in it, maybe you didn't have an equal share in it, but to literally put your name on top of it and claim it as your own, I don't know. I'm iffy on that.
It's a risky move. Right?
It is a risky move.
It wouldn't be the nicest thing. It wouldn't be the most kosher thing, and it would definitely get you enemies within the craft that you're working in, would it not?
This would probably be the case. Do I still love Stan Lee? I love Stan Lee. I do. I'm going to be sad when he dies. That's my point.
You know who I won't be sad when they die?
Who's that?
Move on.
Okay. Now, interesting thing here, since we're talking about Steve. Guess who published this month?
Who?
Dalton published this month.
Never heard of him.
Dalton Gentry published this month. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Asshole. But no, I hate you so much. I published much through the assistance of Mr. Steve Donahue. He helped me out with this. He is the editor of Open Letters Monthly, and I have a review published in Open Letters Monthly this month.
It will be linked below.
Yeah,
right?
We'll link it below, so make sure you flood the Open Letters Monthly website.
With hate mail?
Not with hate mail, with praise for my beautiful and poignant review of Children of the New World by Alexander Weinstein. I just wanted to plug that. I feel good about myself.
Good. I'm glad for you.
Yes, this is a good thing. Let's talk about a bad thing.
What's a bad thing?
I've been working on getting this gaming channel up and going. We have the equipment. I spent 9 hours yesterday filming. I have one 10-minute video. How the fuck all these kids can sit down and film this shit flawlessly, with no computer errors, with no lag, with perfect quality, with perfect resolution, I don't fucking know. Because at the 26-year-old, who obviously has done YouTube things, who does all the editing for the channel, all the fucking sound shit, literally can fix anything when it comes to this, I can't figure it out.
What you're saying is I'm going to have to replace you with a 15-year-old from Indiana.
Possibly so. Here's the thing. You want to know the frustration with this right now?
What's that?
If you are a booktuber, go sit down to film today, okay? Now repeat the same thing for 9 hours in 10-minute intervals. You get one video out of that. That is what it has been. So I'm an angry ball of hate right now. Angry ball of hate.
He's been angry all day.
I've been sick all week. I've been busting my ass all week.
He's prickly.
And the one time, and I'm growing a beard, my face hurts. Yeah. My fucking face hurts. And the one time I sit down to be productive this week, nothing. Anger and hate. I'm done talking now.
Anger and hate.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Let's make fun of Steve some more.
That is not fair to Steve.
What do you mean it's not fair to Steve?
I do appreciate
it. Here's the thing. Here's what I don't like. Steve gets to volley at everyone, and you give him impunity, right? Immunity.
Okay.
He's not. You don't attack Steve. Adrian, quit attacking Steve. Don't say bad things about Steve. Steve.
Here's what I love.
Love it.
Steve likes to take a jab every week, almost, it seems like, in This Week in BookTube. If we're mentioned, there's a jab.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. I love it.
We're not mentioned for good things.
I love that. We took a jab at Steve last week, and, like, in all these comments, because we don't actually say who it's about.
Right.
All these comments are like, oh, is that about Steve?
Was that a Steve joke?
Steve joke? How dare you, sir?
Don't make jokes about Steve. Don't harass Steve. He gets it enough on Twitter. What is it? St. Donahue on Twitter? Is that what it is?
Yes, St. Donahue.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and send him mean tweets on the Twitter machine. Hashtag yes all women.
We're not getting into that. You son of a bitch for mentioning that. We're not getting into that.
No.
Nope, not doing it.
We'll move on.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Is there anything else happening in your life?
No.
What are you writing now? What are you working on now?
Nothing.
I thought you were working on something.
I have first looks left and right to film for this channel. I'm reading Loner by Teddy Wayne, hopefully for a review next month. I did the Harry Potter things again. I don't know. I'm working on finding a 24-hour winery and just
living there,
having me a day off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been rough.
Yeah.
We're working hard.
Yeah, nobody shows up at 2 o'clock in the morning with gifts of pizza for me.
Well, next time they show up, they're leaving that pizza. Excuse me, man, was this paid for?
But that is Variety Hour. If you like this kind of thing, make sure you give us a like on this video and subscribe down below. We do this every week because we like to piss off the internet.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter @StripCover, on Facebook @StripCoverLit, and hunt down our patrons as well.